All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, February 3rd, 2022. So markets pulling back off of the Facebook earnings. We have Amazon's earnings out right now. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Facebook getting walloped down 26% here. I tweeted this out last night. There is some interesting levels here of support on Facebook coming into some key support zones here. But just a total beat down. And we talked about, I also tweeted out yesterday that look at how Facebook got beaten down ahead of earnings, as did Netflix. So there was clearly some institutional dumping. Somebody knows something always. And we have the same kind of thing happen on Amazon. So I speculated maybe that Amazon would get hit on earnings. But the thing is, it gapped down today on expectations that the report was going to be very bad. Now, Amazon's bidding up to 3,200 right now. So all the way up here. So a huge bid right now. I don't know what's going on with the report, but I just know the stock is reacting positively. Market just closed a few minutes ago. But essentially, what you had happen here is, maybe a bit of a bear trap where, it sort of priced in a crappy report based off of what Facebook did yesterday. And, essentially if the report can still be crappy, but if it's already priced in that way, essentially what I'm trying to say is the market will look at it and say, oh, well, it wasn't that bad because, clearly this was a knee-jerk reaction and we priced in a much worse report. So now we're buying because, the report isn't as bad. But anyways, I don't know what the numbers are, but point is the stock is bouncing. Let's look at the NQ futures. So that is getting the futures way off the lows here. Let's take a look on the intraday. Yeah, nice pop there on the futures. And we'll come back to this in a little bit. We'll talk the markets a bit here. So today, markets pulling back, obviously, off of this, mainly off of Facebook, but it was also technical too. So if we just take a little fib here, you can see we went right into a 618 there on the spider. And, we just went straight up off the lows. So, at the end of the day, we needed a technical pullback anyway. So not a big surprise. I still think there's more room for potential downside. Maybe we backtest this 200 moving average. And I've been telling you guys, we're probably looking at some type of ABC up. So right now we would be in the B leg. So, maybe a move down, maybe some chop, into next week, maybe into OPEX. And then, maybe we see a leg up after that. That's typically what stocks do to rebound after a big move. So that's kind of what I have penciled in right now. But ultimately, market getting a little bit of relief rally off of Amazon right now. And that's helping kind of calm the fears. We got really, again, we talked about these yesterday. We went from to fear to complacency, and then to fear immediately, right back. This market's just back and forth, and it's been like that for a few months now. And I don't see it stopping anytime soon. I think we're going to have a very volatile year here. Anyways, let's move over. Let's talk about the Qs. So Q's getting a bid off the lows up to 358 now, but a pretty ugly hit today. So that's a pretty nasty reversal. It is up in the after hours right now. And again, the NASDAQ has still been the laggard, as has the Russell 2000. So IWM just a really weak beat down. Look at this bounce. You couldn't even get back above the 20 moving average. So Russell not showing strength, NASDAQ not showing strength. It's not a good sign when you see the Dow, for instance, leading. The Dow is holding up best out of all indices, and with the spiders being the second. So again, not really a huge risk on signal. This does look more like a bear market rally to me. Let's look at the semis. So semis down 4.4% today. Again, up $3 in the after hours off of Amazon, but nice little reversal. I talked about this yesterday. You have this 20 and 100 moving average kind of coming into this area. That was going to be resistance, so semis pulling back. Cloud software also been a bit of a laggard. That got hit pretty hard today, and that is bouncing a little bit in the after hours as well off of Amazon. But again, a little bit of weakness there in the cloud stocks. So yields were higher today. 10-year got a nice boost, up 3.5%. This is still in backing and filling mode. I don't think it's ready to pop off just yet. Same thing with the 30-year. Nice bullish pattern here, nice pop, 2.5%. I don't think they are ready to go quite yet, but they are putting in nice weekly consolidation. XLF pulled back just like everything else, but so it did close back below that 20 moving average. However, it has held up much better. Look at the sell-off here on the XLF compared to, the spiders today. So, you can tell the clear difference. Financials are holding up much better. Broker dealers closed back below that 100, but nothing more than a little pullback here. We talked about JPM yesterday, and, possibly wanting to put in a base here, a bull base for a move up. and it's starting to consolidate sideways. You've seen the same thing on Goldman as well. I talked about this. So potentially, you know, maybe you can put in a little bullish pullback, and then you can get a bid here, maybe fill that gap on Goldman, you know, over the next couple of weeks or so, maybe going into OPEX even. But obviously financials holding up well. Energy pausing a little bit across the board as far as the stocks. So XLE just flattish to negative, OIH, XOP flat. However, crude made a 8-year high here today. So 52-week high, 8-year high. And if you go back, I mean, you got to go back to, yeah, 2014, the last time we were at 90 bucks. So huge move there for crude, back into the $90 area. And, you know, let's be honest, it probably wants to go to 100. You know, that was where you broke down from. And, you know, markets love those whole round numbers. So crude is strong, and it's not really showing any signs of pulling back. Now, it is a little overbought. Don't get me wrong. It's overbought, but so maybe it needs to do some backing and filling at some point. But it is holding up really well right now. Nat gas, this is like the biggest LOL of the day here. So we've been talking about this. It's been trading like an altcoin. I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks. What do? We get all the way up here to this trend line on yesterday, and then just complete reversal. Maybe it was another amateur government shorting that doesn't understand how the markets work again. But somebody did whack it back down. So nat gas has been all over the map. There's really nothing to do with this right now. It is just too volatile, and it's not putting in any sort of pattern. You know, if you give me a pattern, I can trade a volatile stock. But this is making illogical moves on almost a daily basis. So I would just avoid nat gas for right now. But yeah, just crazy to watch. Just sit back and watch the fireworks. Dollar index. So this got hit a little bit again today. Basically, what's going on here is there's some rumors about the ECB hiking rates. They came out today and said that they're going to leave rates at 0 or negative, and the dollar did not rally back anyway. The one thing I will say though is that we still have rates. I mean, rates were green today. We talked about that earlier. And, you know, we looked at this weekly pattern here. If, you know, once this bakes in the oven long enough and moves higher, which I do expect it to get up to 2 to 2.1% in the 10-year, that's going to help the dollar. So dollar kind of lagging a little bit here. Ultimately, it looks more like a counter trend pullback to me, but we'll continue to watch. We'll see what Friday's close brings. You know, when we see that weekly close, it tells us a lot more about what the market wants. And but you know, in any case, dollar still holding up, just having a bit of a sharp pullback here off of that ECB talk. Let's move on to gold here. All right, if we can get it to come up. Anyways, the GLD here. All right, there we go. I was going to say the GLD is right here. You can see we dumped out pretty hard on the open, and we rallied back here. But you can see that tail candle here on gold futures. Nice dump out, and then a nice recovery, but ultimately still kind of inside of this red bar here. So for now, it is technically a bearish inside bar, but we'll continue to monitor it. It's not a very mature pattern. And again, gold's been all over the map lately. So until we see a definitive pattern here, hard to really say much to do with it. Same thing with silver. Did break this trend line here, but we probably get rid of this now. And, you know, possibly putting in a, you know, a bearish inside bar, but, you know, it did come off the lows. So we'll just see what it does here. I don't have any, you know, trade or bias here on silver or gold right now. Platinum, I do have a bullish bias. We talked about this yesterday. A little bit of a pullback today, just continuing to consolidate. I like the pattern. Same thing with palladium. This needs to do some backing and filling, but nice move. It is a little extended, got extended from that 20 MA, but a nice move, and it is holding up for now. Copper, also a little bit of a pullback. Again, you guys know the levels here. Weekly close above 451 is a bullish indicator, and 425 on the downside would be very, very bearish in my opinion. Let's talk about Bitcoin and Ether. So Bitcoin pulling back just like everything else did today. So again, it's trading basically like a leverage ETF to the equity markets. And, you know, what can you say? It just had a red day like everything else did. And it's still printing this bearish inside bar here. Ethereum did pull back a little bit more. So starting to get more of a one-to-one correlation. We talked about how lately Ethereum was holding up a lot better than Bitcoin and getting a better bounce. That it looks to be sort of evening out a little bit now. But in either case, you know, you're seeing this kind of bearish inside bar in pretty much all the cryptos right now. You know, XRP, Solana, Litecoin, Doge, all of them. They're really just trading together right now and kind of putting this bearish inside bar in place for now. All right, let's go take a look back at Amazon and see if that has done anything else. Yeah, so it looks like it's settling around 3,100. So we got all the way up to a little bit above 32. So we're at 31 right now. So that is going to be helping the market here. Probably calm some fears. I still think overall we probably continue to pull back. Maybe we bounce here. Maybe we just chop for a few days, and go sideways before putting a leg up. But ultimately, that's kind of what I've got penciled in for right now. And I think we're in kind of like the B leg of an ABC up. Anyways, guys, take care. I will talk to you all tomorrow, and we'll see where we close out the week. All right, guys, take it easy.